Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Hero's Journey test. In this series, we are going to be testing movies, novels, plays, basically anything which has a story, and check to see if it follows the 12-step template of the hero's journey. This template was popularized by Joseph Campbell and Christopher Vogler. Now, why are we doing this? Because the hero's journey has been extracted after reading thousands and thousands of stories and myths from all over the world. Myths are stories which celebrate godlike values they see in people whom they consider as heroes. And if we are able to imbibe these values after reading and watching these movies, then we will be able to move closer towards our dreams. So let's get started. The movie that we are going to be exploring and testing today is The Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So let's take a look at that. And if you have not watched my video of where I talk about the 12-step hero's journeys process and why it's important to us, I'm going to leave the link to that in the description. Please do watch that. So the first step in this process is the ordinary world. We see Harry Potter is in his ordinary world and he's living his life with his uncle, his aunt and his cousin. So first step, check. Second step is call to adventure. We see Harry receiving a letter from Hogwarts asking him to come join the school. So step number 2, check. Step number 3 is refusal of the call. Mostly heroes refuse the call because they don't want to get into a different world. But here we see Harry always ready to explore a new adventure. So when Hagrid calls him, he just happily leaves. So an into mark for step number 3. Step number 4 is meeting the mentor. Of course, we have Hagrid who's helping Harry through figuring out what he needs to do, what he needs to buy. In most stories, the mentor is the person who helps the hero get into this new world. In most other Harry Potter movies, it's Dumbledore who is Harry's mentor, but here it's Hagrid. Step number 5 is crossing the first threshold. Harry moves through platform 9 3/4 successfully, so he has crossed the first threshold. Step number 6 is tests allies and enemies. The sorting hat is put on Harry's head and then his abilities are tested. He also finds out his allies are everyone from Gryffindor house, his enemies are everyone from the Slytherin house. So step number 6 done. Step number 7 is approach, and Harry does go into that room where he's not supposed to go on the 3rd floor and he meets that 3-headed dog. So approach is done. Ordeal is when the hero comes face to face with the thing that he's afraid of the most. So Harry, Hermione and Ron take a look at the 3-headed dog and also look at what is under the dog's feet, the trap door. So step number 8 is done. Step number 9 is the reward. So after having looked at the dog and its feet, they also find out that there is something called the Sorcerer's Stone, and it makes the person immortal as well. And the road back is when Harry, Hermione and Ron kind of think everything is a little okay when they almost get killed in the forest when Harry meets Voldemort. Step number 10 is resurrection. This is when the hero almost dies and then comes back after having faced his biggest fear. And we see this happening in the trapdoor where there is that confrontation between Professor Quirrell and Harry. And Harry almost dies there and then he comes back. Finally, return with the elixir. Now the Sorcerer's Stone is destroyed and this one road for Voldemort to come back into that world is blocked forever. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has passed the hero's journey test. Let's find out which other movie we are going to be testing in the next episode. Take care.